I'd just like to start with a prayer and ask God for His blessing for this conference and for all of those who are here and attending it, and wish it every success. The Vice-Chancellor, Mr. Jha, Professor Thakaran, I was practicing that name quite a bit, and the Chief Guest, Roger Hayden, and Mr. Jha, was it? Yeah? I did get Roger Hayden. But Mr. Dahiya, sorry, I remembered that finally. What a time to be in India. Mr. Modi came up with Make in India and Swachh Bharat, but he needs a hand. He can't do it on its own. And I urge each of you here to play your part. Today, the IMF came up with predictions for the future. India is the shining star. So I urge each of you here, don't waste your time. My talk's going to be on innovation. I wish also that I could, the next time I'm speaking here, that innovation would actually project me on all your mobile phones and Android phones that all of you all keep looking at all the time, right? That's okay, those are carrying on, please carry on, that's not a problem. But innovation never stops. Never, never, never stops. When I first started my career in London, and I was doing my apprenticeship, we were the first property to actually have cost control computerized. And it was a big thing. Everybody was like, wow, can we go there? Can we have a look at it? And the servers actually took up 2 rooms. Nowadays, there's little microchips. And there's also innovation going on in the space field. I don't know if you saw today, Stephen Hawking and a billionaire out of Russia are going to send satellites into the next universe, and they're so small. So the thing I want to say to you is innovation never, never stops. It just keeps going on and on and on. Now, the other thing was keys. When I first was at reception, we actually had keys to open doors. Then we went to Ving Card, which was electronic keys. Then, in the hospitality industry, we had to come up with innovations when those keys didn't work. And what did we say? Oh, the magnetic strip on your credit card has demagnetized your key. It never demagnetized the credit card, because I know my wife gave it quite a workout after that. But so we also have to come up with innovative ideas and excuses to keep up. The other thing is keep up. Keep up with technology. Keep up with innovation. I mean, go into the kitchen. I'm sure when the chef Liam went in there, things were very different. Nowadays, you have combi ovens, which are rigged up with the internet and being controlled from Belgium or France. They automatically clean themselves. So much is going on. With Starwood, I don't know if you've heard, we've gone into conjunction with Apple. And with your Apple Watch, you can actually unlock your room door, so you don't even have to go to reception. There's also just been launched a robot to deliver minibar drinks to your rooms. Now, God forsake if robots take over, but they can never, I think the human touch will always exist. I think that's really, really important. iPads, what apps, there's so much going on. Now, my advice to you, you've got a fabulous university here. Don't waste your time. Learn. Practice. What we did was, there's one thing that a general manager taught me. His name was Jean-Pierre Piquet. And we went into his palatial office. Mind you, Mr. Jha, you have a wonderful office here. I wish I could rent it out for a meeting room someday. But you've got fabulous facilities here. Use it. Don't waste time. I certainly didn't, because I had a mission. I wanted to reach the top. When I went into this hotel, in those days, we had many levels of structures, about 7, 8 structures before you could get to the top. And the GM was a gentleman by the name of Jean-Pierre Piquet. When we went into his office, the one thing that struck me was, he said in his French accent, He said, just remember, only one person ever becomes general manager or executive housekeeper or rooms division director. And if you want to get there, you've got to work damn hard. There's no substitute unless your families own the hotel, then you can go in, but then you have to have the knowledge. I urge you as students, go and get yourself part-time jobs. So then I had great fun coming back and giving my lecturers a hard time, because I was actually in the business, and they hated me for it because I was up with it. And you know what happened after that? They went and started getting jobs in universities to keep, in the hospitality industry, to keep up with the pace, what's going on. Be up to date. There was an interesting discussion that we had in Vice Chancellor's office about innovation, and then the chief guest mentioned about Bukhara, the restaurant. The only thing they've innovated is put a glass in front of the tandoors. They've remained the same because they've got a fabulous product and it's doing really well. That's the exception. So please, keep up pace with innovation. There's no substitute for it. It keeps going on. Today, I don't know if you also saw it, is the anniversary of Yuri Gagarin, first man into space. 108 minutes. Now what's happened? People are spending over a year. It's changing fast, and you got to keep up to it. And what better place to be given that launch than this university? You're truly blessed to have this and wonderful lecturers here. I think it's up to you. It's entirely up to you. I was taught something very early on, is to actually have SMART goals, just the acronym. Specific, measurable, attainable, time-bound, realistic. That's very important. One thing I noticed in India, everybody wants to be general manager the day after tomorrow. Sorry, that job's not available as yet. But that shouldn't stop your enthusiasm. You should fight for it. The other thing I did was, after I finished my shift, I made sure I went into other fields, into accounts, into the kitchen. So when jobs came available, I could move into those. Don't just think you're 8 hours and ghar jaake aaram karo. Nahi hoga. You won't get to the top. As Modi would say, bhai aur behno, dhyan de do. It's your life. Nobody else's, it's yours. And it's up to you. And it's a fabulous time. Honestly, I've been around the world. I've been very fortunate to have my wife here today, who's based out in Australia and visiting us, and a great support structure. You need to make sure that your family is taken care of, and they will be the foundation for you to progress. Very, very important. So don't waste time, please. I keep reiterating that. I was afraid to run my own business. I thought, let me go and waste somebody else's money. But each of you, I urge you, if you've got it in you, don't be afraid. You can borrow money from the banks. Look at Mr. Malia, 900,000 crores. They're willing to give it to you. So try it. If you make a mistake, do you think he cares? No? All right, the banks have got the money, they gave it to me. Do it. Look at the gentleman from Oyo Rooms. What a simple idea. How many billion has come into his account? Smart guy, never been in hospitality. Hats off to him. You've got that. With all the technology that's available, use it. Seriously, use it to your advantage. Social media, LinkedIn, the whole lot. Use it. Before I came here, I was speaking to my owner, and he said, I was telling him I was coming to speak here, and he said, listen, I don't know if my owner actually is the gentleman who runs the real estate Central Park. And if you've seen the big development on Sona Road, well, there's going to be many restaurants and bars opening there. Send your CV. They need people on part-time basis in the evenings. Go and learn. Get involved now. Because what happens is when you finish your degree from here and you go out, it's not that easy. You'll have a waiter with 10 years experience telling you what to do. Now, it's best to get stuck in and learn. Seriously, go and apply. It's not just hotels and restaurants. There's so much more. There's residential blocks, clubs, so many other areas. Go and get involved. Find out what it is. You've got India's got an amazing future. I think Mr. Modi has, launched all these initiatives. I think they're fantastic. For me personally, it's taking a long time, but he can't do it on its own. Each of you are responsible, including myself. Get involved, do something, keep it clean. Foreigners coming here, they always say, it's a mess. This is dirty, that's dirty. But we've got to do it. But you've got so much good here. Honestly, I've been here 7 years in India. It's a fabulous country. Cultures, cuisines, you name it. In Australia, we have the Harbour Bridge. There's a gentleman by the name of Paul Cave who used to come and sit in the coffee shop, and he was working on a plan. And I asked him, I said, what are you doing? He said, about 3 weeks ago, I was taken for a walk on the Harbour Bridge. So I've decided to open up bridge climb, and I've got permission. Now, he actually managed to drill a hole through one of the pylons to get access, and he proved that that pylon had nothing to do with the structural strength of the bridge. So he drilled a tunnel through that. In the first year, he turned over $60 million. Over the Olympics, it was open 24 hours. And that money, 50% of it went to the government for the upkeep of the bridge. Now, there was a guy with an innovative idea. Simple, and look at the money that he made. Now, we have other monuments which are about 200 years old. Everything you touch in India is over 500 years old. You go to the Kutub Minar, you see this great big pillar. Amazing structures, cultural heritage. It just needs to be done